Friday, and it is Venusian energy. I like to say it, but Venus energy to each and every one of you guys. First of all, salutation to my madrina, my padrino, to my oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Ajays. To each and every one of you guys. That are practicing the ATRs. Salutations to you as well. To each and every one of you guys, if this is your first time in my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Ely Jr. I am the apostle and the pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy and frequency and vibration to each and every one of you out. What's up, my baby Scorpio? Thank you for joining us on tonight. You inspired this message. I want to say to each and every one of you guys, I want to say that we're getting prepared for our ceremony on Sunday with Ligba. Many of you guys have already purchased your candles, and so therefore I'm getting that together as well as other things that I'm doing. But I want to say to each and every one of you guys, this channel is for melanated people. Melanated people are black people. This is for us that don't know our history, had never come up in spiritual etiquette. This is the opportunity to learn from somebody that been doing magic ever since they was a child, 3 to 4 years of age. I'm 52 years of age. Thank you for each and every one of you guys that actually support this channel and the things that we do on this channel for melanated people. I want to encourage many of you guys that want to learn real magic, real conjure, real mysticism, to allow yourself the opportunity to gain, interpret knowledge, wisdom, understanding when it comes down to universal laws. Universal laws are what I teach on this platform because they apply to everybody. When you, I do not teach my personal beliefs or my personal practices because that is my individual journey. What I do teach is how to utilize magic, energy, and frequency and vibration no matter what you practice. Whether you're an atheist, whether you're a conjurer, a mystic, whether you are an individual that is solo dolo. Okay? Universal laws apply to each and every one of us. I want to talk about something today because in honor of Venus, that planetary influence, and in honor of Cancer season, am I gay? Ask your daddy. He sucked more dick than Collar got liver pills. So ask him. And I really appreciate you guys because y'all have. Let me say this because this is Melanated Channel. I can't wait till the sun cooks and crackles crackers. When I say these people have been parasitic since their evolution and transmutation here, it is going to be great joy to see the fall of Esau. The planet is going to get rid of infection. So we don't have very long to deal with these people. The sun, SUN, is taking care of a lot of that. So, like a bacteria or a virus, you're gonna only do so much. Especially if my immune system is strong, there's only so much you can do. You can't create damage because moringa, sea moss, these are spiritual concepts. Let me say this. I've strived to warn black people and melanated people about things that are coming down the pipeline. So I want to talk about this in sober heart and sober mind. I teach you all about real magic and how it applies to each and every one of us no matter what your background is. I want to say first, thank you to Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. And once again, Sister Monique, happy birthday. We are in the Cancerian season. And so my dad is on the 17th, and my oldest son, is on the 20th of this month. I want to my niece is on the 13th. I really need to talk about this. And this is when things trigger you emotionally. What's up, Mama Susan? Gemini in the house. As a conjurer, as a mystic, as somebody that has been healing people through the years, through my divine gift, I've had the pleasure of healing children. And my subject tonight is, except you come as a child, you shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. And one of the things that my spiritual dad taught me, how to work the graves of babies, because they still have energy, frequency, and vibration. And those that don't understand a childlike spirit is going to struggle with understanding Eligba, Mafedi Fun Eligba, in a Risha faith. Even though he's a child, he's very powerful, and he's still a crossroads spirit. And even in Ocha, we have the Medjis, and there are children, there are two twins, and a lot of times non-melanated people underestimate the Ache, the energy and the frequency and the vibration of the children of God, a child of God. And what prompted this more so, which was confirmation. What's up, my Boaz in the house, Pisces, and then my Ryan is in the house, and my Virgo, Savannah. I want y'all to understand that I've been dealing with healing, and my baby Scorpio was communicating with me concerning her daughter 7, and you know how she was grateful unto me for the healing that 7 had past things, and she was dealing with brain injury. And I was reading it, and I was talking to Mother Susan, because I have been an intercessor for so many children, unborn children. My sister, all 3 of her pregnancies were complicated, and God had to move for each one of her kids, but one in particular is my Scorpio. And my sister was being a mother, she was crying, and they were transporting her back and forth from Orlando, Florida. I've never encouraged anybody. This is why I'm a divine healer. If God heals you, then the doctors are going to be able to acknowledge that. I've never not only told my children, I never told my my mother, anybody, not to go to the doctor. I don't believe in doctors. I have a problem with doctors. I walk in my divine healing. So, long story short, my niece, my middle niece, basically she was supposed to be Down syndrome, and she had fluid on the brains. My mother was crying. My sister was crying. I crying too, but I knew what God can do. And she was telling me they're gonna drill a hole in my baby head. And while she was saying it, she was crying, and it made me think about Keish. What she was telling me about 7. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is why it is so important to be what you say you are. Because when people need you to be exactly who you say you are, God gonna move and manifest. And before there was a 7, there were many countless of situations. I had Brother Johnny, he's the father of our church. His daughter had certain miscarriages. And I was doing a reading for Brother Johnny online. And I saw a child being born. And I saw him, I said, I hear pitter patter, because I didn't know his situation or her situation. I was just reading the cards for him. And I said, well, I see it coming. Not knowing the background drop of his situation with his daughter. And so when she conceived, she kept it under wraps because of what she had already gone through. But I had saw that child come into fruition. And so he just told me, Apostle, I know what you said, but because they had that scare before, and now she's pregnant once again. The child came forth fine, quite naturally, praying. And so when she got pregnant again, she started having very, very heart complications. And I would never forget, and those that know, I was telling people to sow for their graveyard work. And I told Brother Johnny, I said, Brother Johnny, because I don't do scare tactics. I said, Brother Johnny, you really need to sow that seed. And he would pay on the seed. And I was, one Sunday we were in church, and I saw death around him. So I said, Brother Johnny, I'm not a pushy person. But because I saw death around him, I said, Brother Johnny, you really need to make sure you get that it's done as soon as possible. And I was really saying that because of what I was seeing around him. And his granddaughter, his second granddaughter, was in intensive care. And they were saying that she might not make it. When I tell you, as soon as he Zelled me that money, he paid off his seed for that graveyard work. The next day, she came home. When I say overnight, and she has not had any more complications since. When you don't understand the power of being a child of God, I'm not talking about the miracles that have taken place for adults. I'm talking about the things that Spirit has done through me for children, unborn children. And this is my thing. I had one young lady that was in my church ministry, and her oldest daughter, the doctor had told her to go home because she was going to miscarry her child, and she probably going to pass it in the toilet. And she came to me crying. Of course, she was a Gemini. Come to me crying. So she told me what was going on. And I have a prayer cloth. I told her, I said, come here. I said, I wrapped her stomach up In that ebasa, I wrapped her stomach on the unborn child that the doctor had already said she was going to miscarry. I said, you won't miscarry her. I wrapped her belly up. I said, keep this on. Do not take this off. She followed the instruction, and now we have a Leo. There's people that wouldn't even have kids if it wasn't for Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I don't know if people don't understand the power that is in my life and what has been already done. Not just grown people, not just pulling. I remember Trironda's sister, her kids had gotten in a serious car accident. And they called me because the children were non-responsive on site. So I told them, I said, I'm going to call you back. Or I said, no, call me back. And I went into my prayer chamber and I spoke, because I knew the kids, I spoke their names. I spoke to their spirit to go back into their bodies. And maybe a few minutes later, they were calling me and were screaming that the kids had woke up, came out of the coma. There's many situations that I've had to respond on site. The reason I'm bringing this up, because when you pray for somebody or you pray for children, you build a bond with them. And I've had many children that I've interceded for. Many children through the years. And their parents would leave the church. Their parents would coach those children not to speak to me. And I'm saying this because I don't know why people feel like pastors or leaders or elders don't have feelings. I've seen kids look at me and want to speak to me, but because their mom said don't speak to me, or their family. The games that women play, even with the fathers of children, are the same games they play with children, even in spiritual practice. If somebody is the godparent of a child and you playing games because you're having issues, it's so unfair. And I was telling her, because if I had let what previous parents had done and how they have treated me with their children, that I am the reason why they're breathing in and breathing out. I am the reason why the manifestation came to pass. And so therefore, I have a personal bond with that child. I have spoken to children before while they were being formed in the womb and prophesied their destiny. I have a bond with those children. I have a bond with those spirits. And this is why Eligba is so important. He's the first Orisha. Though he be childlike, he is yet a powerful Orisha. He's the roll opener. And I was telling my baby Scorpio, because I know she ain't intended, but I got really emotional. How can I not be connected to children that I fight for? Especially people that bring me their children that are at death's doors, that they're fighting an illness. I fight for your children just like I fight. That I will fight for my own kids. I don't say a prayer and lay down in my bed. I walk with your child. I intercede for your child. I try to prevent you from experiencing grief and sorrow. And I was telling, this is why I took it so personal when Minister Mario died, and how the people in my church treated his daughter, and how they told her, if you ever need me, don't tell a child something if it ain't real. You lie to grown folks. Don't lie to children. Don't lie to a ligaba. Don't lie to children. If you can't do something, don't promise them. This is real conjure. This is real mysticism, because energy cannot be destroyed. So just because a child passed doesn't mean that that child is not living. It's still consciousness. I was thinking how important it is for people that follow me to understand why I am so much against pretending. Putting on airs as though you're in one place when you're not. Because if somebody comes to you as a conjurer, as a mystic, as an adjunct, as whatever your title may be, and you're not the person that you're out here advertising yourself to be, and you lose a life because you're not who you say you are, I wonder what type of heart you have to train children to ignore the vessel that brought life to them. The reason why they have an opportunity to walk out their destiny, I was the gateway. I made the decision that they shall live and not die. It wasn't in your hands. It wasn't in the doctor's hands. I tilted that scale for your child. And your level of mistreatment of me is baffling. If I had allowed how people have treated me, I'm not even talking about the miracle signs and wonders that I have wrought for adults. I'm talking about their biological children. Even though Triranda is a grown woman, her mother thought she was going to have to bury her child. And I intervened. How many times I rose and brought Mario, Minister Mario, son of Achosi, back to life. And you don't understand. You'll never go, unless you deal with your inner child, you cannot operate and enter into your kingdom. Your inner kingdom has an inner child. This is why Yahshua says, except you come as a little child, an obedient child. That's why you shouldn't ever lie to a child. That child believes in you. That child trusts you. That child looks for you to protect them. Not be a tyrant to them. Every year, I used to do the superhero bash. It was during Halloween. And I would work my ass. I'm talking about not church money, my personal money. and I would spend thousands of dollars to fill my church with balloons, with candy, I used to buy popcorn machine. Like, our church had it all. It was like a mini carnival. And I would after doing all that work, putting everything together, different members getting the candy bags and this and that, the making sure they were in safe and environment, music on point. I would entertain those kids for hours. I would exhaust myself just to see smiles on kids. And I had kids from the community. I didn't care where they came from. I would teach them how to give. I would teach them how to make sure that everybody had enough. Because I would buy enough that there would be plenty for not only kids, the adults. And the way that people treat me, as though, one thing I love about children, they never forget. If you did something good to them, they never forget. I'm speaking about the adults. That you would not have your children if it wasn't for Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. You wouldn't have your grandkids. You'd have lost your son. You'd have lost your daughter. I'm a child of Oya. I'm a child of Babalu Aye. I know what it is to be a child. If you're going to really grow and develop in this thing called spirituality, you need to understand what it is to be a child. Child of Ogun. Child of Ezeli Dontor. A child of Baron Samzi. A child of Gades. I know you use that word very loosely, but it's significant when you declare spiritually who you belong to and who you are a child of. I'm a child of Jupiter. It needs to mean something to your kingdom. It needs to mean something for every individual that have seen the marvelous works of the divine. Not only in the lives of grown adult people, but children. When my baby Scorpio came to me about her nephew, and I was trying, after I looked at the situation, I was trying to comfort her, prepare her, because interceding for your loved one is different from the mother or the father interceding. And she was asking me, she was asking me very directly. And it's very hard to tell somebody that if certain things don't be done for him, he's not going to make it. He's a child. I don't know why everybody think it's such a... I don't know what you think, but telling people what you see, honestly, and you know it's going to hurt them, and you don't want to see them hurt, but you also don't want to see them walking in denial. A lot of you have no respect for the gift of sight. You want everybody to believe you're a seer, but you can't add comfort to anybody. You can't forewarn anybody. You can't get anybody. Even if people don't listen to me, they will be able to say, Apostle Ely told me that. I heard him on a live. It's recorded. Whether you adhere to what I'm saying or not, it's irrelevant. It's the point I am still doing my job as a seer, as a prophet, as an oracle. And when I tell you that to benefit from Eligba, and because I had to correct another saint, no, Papa, that's not Papa Legba. Papa Legba is a grown ass man. Eligwa is a child, no less divine, but he's a child. Divine twins in Haitian voodoo, same concept. They're children, but they're no less divine. And when we understand that, we can get along better with energy, frequency, and vibration. You definitely do your job assignment. Yes, sir. Let me tell y'all something. The kingdom of God is a place where you have to be led. And when you are a type of individual that wants to do conjure and you want to lead yourself, you are not good for that tradition, and you're not good for the people that are listening to you. Being a renegade versus being a rebel or revolutionary are two distinctly different things. We're in the age of revolution, but it is for the greater good of humanity. What you're doing and why you're doing it has nothing to do with humanity. Most cases is inhumane. The magic that you teach is not for the good of humanity. The things that you exemplify are not for the greater good of humanity, especially melanated people. You need to take out the time to ask yourself a real question. Why am I attracting the type of energy? Why don't I listen? Because I'm not childlike. I didn't say being playful, as in playing with life and playing with people life. I'm talking about being able to be led as a child, guided, taking instructions as a child, and obeying as a child. Having little to no understanding why you have to do something, but being obedient. Same thing like a child. You know how many times I got in victory and didn't understand why I was being led a certain direction, why I was being led to do the things I'm doing. You don't have to understand it all. Just be led by your inner guidance. You're not even led by your own intuition because you don't trust it. Because you done been so jaded as a person that you forget you got a guidance system. You would trust me and what I teach more if you could trust yourself. Being a child of being born through Obatala taught me to respect my parents. I look to my parents. I look to my elders. That's why I talk the shit that I do. Because for you to be an elder and a child cannot turn to you, like, where is the safety? When I had one of my clients ask me, Chief, basically he was asking me how to protect, about what's going on. And I was being honest. You got to learn how to fight. It's too many black men that don't know how to fight. I said, and you can't protect what you can't defend. Yes, I believe in contra and mysticism, all that shit, but I'll fuck you up with a machete. I'll take your head completely off your body. Just like I'll sacrifice an animal. Your neck belongs to God too. I'm not that person. And being a child of Centella don't mean anything to you because you don't understand being a child. Just like I know me and my mother may have different perception about this thing called the life. But if something happens to me, my mother is going to come. Just like I was walking around the cemetery, wasn't feeling good, and my daddy came and took that pain away from me. It's a beautiful thing to be a child of somebody. But it's even better when you show honor and homage. I'm not trying to get around my parents. I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to live out my manifestation. I'm like Yahshua told his mother, I must be about my father's business. But at no time do I have to disrespect and dishonor my parents. And I feel that the same way about my spiritual parents. That's why you don't hear me calling certain people names. Even if I have a disagreement with them, I'm only going to go so far. Just like I only go so far with my natural parent. I don't live a life that my elders have to curse me. I don't live a life that they have to bind me. As a child, as a child of chaos and all the powers that I have and that are accessible unto me, I am now a threat to humanity. As much as dark magic as I do, I have never exemplified that I was a threat to the existence of humanity. I'm always looking to the future, to better people, places, and things. Whether I benefit directly or not, it's irrelevant to me. I walk in the 9 realms as a child of chaos. A chaos being, a extraterrestrial being. But yet a child. And a divine one at that. I watch people bring their kids and children and their situation to me. And I don't hold it against the children. But I do hold it against the parents. I had to have a heart to fight for your child. I had to have a love in me for melanated people. I had to care that black baby lived. And not only did I ask God to bring them out, I was monitoring them that they can be healed. Everything the doctor told my sister that the complication that my niece would have or her eldest daughter would have, they have none of those complications. Because the God that I serve, Ebasha, heals. Just like he healing me at 52 years of age. That's why you can't do nothing with me. Because I am a very important factor in this timeline for melanated people. And whether you help me or not, provision shall be made. Because I got people to see, places to go, and things to manifest. I want y'all to really take out time to understand what it is and what it means to be a child of a said deity or goddess or God or divine Loa and Pungo. That you should have a pride about yourself. Black people, you need to have a pride about being the children of the sun. See, that don't. People say that and have it. There's nothing behind it. You the children of the sun, Ra. It don't mean nothing. And therefore you can't benefit from being a child of said entity energy. But when you actually understand that, I know what it meant to be a child of my mother, because my mother had a lot of influence. And I knew what it was to be the son of my father, because my daddy had a lot of influence. I knew what it also meant to be a grandson of my grandmother. That meant something. See, I've never been raised in a mindset that being a child, you ain't have no power. Because I had plenty of influence. And I wasn't the only grand, and I was not the only child on the street that belonged to our family tree. But I was somebody that had influences. I can get my mama in trouble with her mama. And I did get her in trouble. I tried to get her ass whooped as much as I could. But she ended up beating my ass more than I got her ass beat. You win some, you lose some. But my point is, I know what it is to walk in honor as somebody's child. As a God child, some of you got to take no pleasure in being a part of this tribe. You don't see the value in it. What's the point of being a member? It's a big deal. It's a big deal to be a member of my Haitian Voodoo, the family of my spirits. It's a big deal to be a member of the Orishas, my Orishas. It's a big deal. It's a big deal to be a part of the membership of Palo Miambe. It's a big deal to be a child, to be a member of that, and you act and walk around as if though it's insignificant. Oh, I forgot, because you can't tell them what to do and treat them like slaves. What's up, Minister Air Aquarius in the house? In the season of Gemini, in season of Cancer, understand the family unit, the Trinity, the divine feminine, the divine masculine, and the child, which is the body, the Merkaba, the temple. To be a child of this earth, native to this earth, melanin to this earth, to be a child to inherit the earth. You would fight for this planet if you understood that you were actually a child of this planet. The reason why you think that is everybody else's responsibility to raise the consciousness of this planet is because you don't feel a part. Even though I keep telling you, you melanated. The reason why you can do root work, conjure, and mysticism is because of this planet. Because you are a microcosm of the universe, a child of the stars, star seed, if you will. Your molecular structure is the same atoms that are in the cosmos. But you think being a child is telling somebody what to do for you and giving out orders. And that's why you constantly chastised like a child. You don't go to the Orishas like you, their child, and you ask their mommy and daddy, can you have this? You go into them like you their boss. And you got you in a position to order them around. You're not going to the Loas as though they're divine fifth dimensional creatures in energy. You got this nigger syndrome, this colonized mentality that somebody is your slave. The reason why I don't do magic like the way that a lot of Latino people do it, because they try to make their spirits slaves. I don't go to graveyards and talking to them spirits like they slaves. I ask them who want to help this particular person. When I go do your graveyard work, every spirit that worked for you in that graveyard is volunteer. I don't force it. Out of all these spirits in here, if none stand up for you, well, you got issues. But when I do graveyard work, I do not force spirits. I ask them, will you do this? I give them a offerings. I do what I have to do for those spirits. When they consent to work for you, I wish a nigga would come to my grave and demanding of me. I will fuck you up. I don't care if you're a pastor. I wouldn't care if you was a clergyman. I wouldn't care if you was a spiritualist. You don't come demanding my energy because I've already paid the price. And now I'm among the ancestors, and I already said I ain't want to come back to this bitch. And you call me. Somehow you got my divine name. Some way you got access to me through blood or whatever you done did. And now you gonna demand me and make me work for you? Try to force me into a spell and see how I fuck. I'm like that, and I'm still a living consciousness. I will follow universal laws, but you ain't gonna don't tell me what to do. Ask me. Ask me. And I'll see if I'm willing to do that. Because I don't do everything just because I got the power to do it. I hope that this helps. I hope that this puts being a child in perspective. I hope that people understand my connections with these children that even they have gotten grown. That I still feel what I felt. And it's very, very disheartening, to say the very least, of how black people act with their children after I brought home the gold for you. I'm not like other pastors. I took my own personal money and bought clothes, shoes, dresses, suits. I did all that. Not just praying, not just doing conjure, not just working signs, wonders, and miracles. I spent my personal money on children. But I can say this, none of the kids disrespect me. You've been very disrespectful. But your children, even though they got grown, they call me either apostle, pastor, or they call me Mr. Sam. But they put a hand on my name because children never forget. And the same joy I had when I was doing what I did for them, I light up the same way when I see them. I see y'all making me look old, cause now y'all got kids. A real spiritualist, a real conjure never forget who they pray for. I'm pretty sure the people that prayed for my mom when she was young and going through that horrific fire, I'm pretty sure they ain't never forgot. I don't like to be manipulated because I care about children. I don't like how a lot of people in my church, in the church community, allow me to be there for their kids like I was, and then just snatch them away because you were mad, or because I didn't do what you wanted to do, or I wasn't jumping behind you, and I've literally had parents try to use their children to negotiate with me. I'm a true Sagittarius. I don't care how much I hurt. You're not gonna make me do something I don't want to do. What's up there, my twin in the house, Kingmaker? This is what I mean about being a child, being innocent, and a lot of you adults are not innocent. And when we doing magic out here, I have to respect my elders. I have to respect the crowns on my head. I can't do what I want to do and disregard. Oh yeah, we have a covenant. I can't disregard Bablu Aye. I can't disregard Centella. I can't disregard Kobe Inde, Baron Samzi, Dumbala, Eba Sanderioso Rabba Sa. I'm their child. I don't know why that don't ring a bell with melanated people, but to be a child of the Most High, whether it's Yah, whether it's El Shaddai, whether it's Tetragrammaton, whether it is Set, Bast, Anubis, whether it is Tharsis, or Nixa, those are water spirits. Whether it's a Simbi, whether it's the merman, Olokun, whether it is Yimija, the mermaid, having honor to be a part of that particular spiritual sphere is an honor. I am my mother's child, but I am definitely my father's son. And I feel that way in every tradition. Not only I feel that way biologically, I feel that way when it comes to my spiritual. And I'm going to live up to that concept that apple don't fall far from the tree. That's me. If I don't represent Oya, I feel like I failed my mother. If I don't represent Bablu Aye, I feel like I failed my father. And I'm sad. I love praise. And I love to represent for my people. When I was delivering packages to a car lot, and the guy that was behind there, he was telling me, he said, man, I be watching you on TV. He said, if your grandma here, she'd be proud. You have no idea the joy, because he knew my grandmother. And for him, an outsider, to say that my grandmother would be proud to watch me the way that I'm doing, that's why people understand. I don't care what other people think. As long as my ways please God, as long as my ways please the ancestors, the Mpungo, or whatever I'm serving up under, I don't care. Because you ain't going to make a way out for me. They are. You're not going to shield and protect me. They are. You're not gonna ascend and descend for me. They are. You're not gonna vouch for me in the spirit world, but they are. That's why Yahshua said, if you deny me before men, I'm going to deny you before my Father. You want people in the spirit world to speak up for you, but you silent for them. That's why when you do work with St. Jude, you have to do a pound cake, but you also got to publicly thank him. Some of y'all want spirits to work for you in secret. And you don't want to, you gotta get up in church talking about, thank you, Jesus. The fuck no. Jesus didn't do that for you. Ogun did that for you. Yemijah did that for you. Ezeli Dontor did that for you. You render to Caesar what is Caesar, and unto God what is God. If Egun brought that through, thank God for the ancestors. Y'all like to do all this bullshit to be publicly accepted. But you are being disrespectful to the entity or the energy that are at work for you. And I ain't with that. If Jesus ain't do it, he ain't getting no credit. If Yahshua didn't bring it, he not getting no credit. If I went to Oba and Eligua for my health and they brought it home, why would I think Oshun and Oya? I'm gonna give honor to whom honor is due. It don't mean I'm disrespecting my head Orisha. It was Oba that promised me the restoration of my health. It was a Ligba that promised me that. It was the grave that healed me and set me free and gave me power. You don't appreciate being a child of said kingdom or energy or frequency. But you want them to be there for you. From you and the ATRs on behalf of my brother Outcome. Thank you, Bo. It's not dissing anybody. If your cousin hold the door open for you, why would you thank your mother? And why would she get offended for you thanking your cousin for opening the door when it was your cousin that opened the door? That's why when you going from person to person and getting prayer and work done, you don't know who to thank. It's just like laying down with a bunch of men and you don't know who the baby daddy is. You don't know. If you only dealing with certain people with certain things, you know where it come from. You should know where your help is coming from. I know who I petition. I know when I do work for clients, I know if I do graveyard work, it's Miami Cemetery I'm gonna give thanks to, or I done been out there in my family cemetery doing work. I'm not gonna thank all the cemeteries around the world. The reason I give New Orleans honor them cemeteries because they are part of my cultures. I got dirt from those New Orleans cemeteries. So I'm going to give them credit. Just because I'm a child of the dead, I don't give thanks to every cemetery. Because every cemetery don't work for me. The cemetery that I go to in Tampa is because that's a cemetery that I got initiated in. And I got 9 spirits out of that cemetery. So I'm going to give tribute to those spirits in that cemetery. God damn it. Just because you don't know who your daddy is, I know who mine is. Just because you don't know who your mom is, I know who mine is. And I know I'm a child of. And if you find out dead tomorrow, just like you ain't representing for your family, you ain't going to represent for your spiritual family. Let's get off that, black people. I like what this black woman said. The reason why you see white people hatred so visible because black people did not check that shit. You didn't do it at the grocery store. You didn't do it at the laundromat. You didn't do it at the whole house. You didn't do it in the parking lot. You didn't do it in the park. You know, all those little instances that kept bolding them up. When they said sideways shit and you didn't correct it. I'd rather get in trouble on my job for checking a bitch. What's up there with my Stormin? My Sagittarius from Detroit. Do y'all understand? Black people got a lot to do with what's going on in America. It's those little subtle jokes that they made you kiki with. It's the ones that because you fucking a white man or fucking a white woman, I don't care if you gay, straight or bi, that you ain't checked that shit. You forgot you were black because you were sucking white, because you were licking white. All of those moments led up to where we are right now. All of those moments when you seen a little black girl being slung around by a white police officer and nobody checked his ass. I would never forget that. That could have been my niece, my sister. I watched that little bitty girl in her bathing suit. He was slinging her around like she was a man. In her bathing suit. Her little business could have been put out there. He didn't care. And some black men somewhere in that area should have been slinging his ass around. In uniform. Because you got to send a message. I don't give a fuck where you work at. I don't care if a fuck who you think you are. You're not going to come in and handle mine like that. That's why I have the utmost respect for Haitian people. All y'all with that bullshit, talking about y'all Christianity, y'all fuckers are scared. Them Haitian people did not let them get legal or illegal immigrants in little Haiti. It wasn't going down there. When my great uncle got busted for cocaine, and they seized the property, the tenants, they wouldn't let them crackers own the property. He was a drug dealer. The black people in Fort Lauderdale, oh, they defended them niggas in Gifford was like, you would have thought when my paper got busted, you would have thought it was Martin Luther King parade. That's why we say all skin folks ain't kin folks. You think because it's not happening to you today that it won't happen to you tomorrow. A cracker don't care about your education or your money or what your business is. You's a nigga in his eyes. He can be a trailer trash, raggedy tooth-ass cracker. Got fungus growing all out of his body. And he gonna still call you a low-life nigga. In your Rolls Royce. Pulling up to Beverly Hills. When I was listening to Anna Navarro on The View, and she was talking about how them Cubans are being deported by ICE and Marco Rubio, I said, good for them motherfuckers. Because you think you ain't black. But them crackers gonna show you black. You can vote Republican all you want. Now I want to see what your pots can do for your monkey ass now. While you was eager to work on black people and kill black people. Let me see you work that Cuban, work that conjure on Donald Trump. Cause he coming for y'all fuck ass. In droves. Cause you thought it was gonna hit the black Americans. And he coming for us too. We ain't crazy. But you would have never thought he started out with y'all fuckers. I'm a child of, oh yeah, I know what betrayal look like. I know what it smell like. And I know what it has to offer. But it's sweet. Cause I got Scorpio in my chart. If I don't like the taste of sweet revenge, the way that this is panning out on these Latino people and these Cuban ass people and these other darkies that didn't think they was black because they had straight hair and because they got lice like white people. Oh, I want to see your Orishas get past ice. Ice gonna be put some ice in your Orishas and ship your ass without your Orishas. Ship your ass without your contra. Black people, let's get our magic. Those that don't have your Egun staff, I advise you, I ain't telling you what to do, but I advise you, sir and ma'am, to get up on your contra. If your magic ain't hitting strong enough now, I don't know what you think gonna hit later when you have to stand up against this bullshit. They thought they were bigger than the program. Let me tell y'all something. If you are anywhere in the spiritual community, you see the racism. I had to make them respect me. I had to make them respect Minister Mario. I had to make them respect my magic. Because they weren't used to giving black people respect. But I tell them quite, it's so bad now. Oh, it's going to get worse. Y'all think it's a bad night. It's going to get worse. Because one thing about white people and people that want to be white, all they did all their life is blame black people. So we're going to be the problem. And because we didn't stand up and help them fight, we are at fault. Because when we are out there putting boots on the ground, we should have been out there helping them clean up their fuck up. Oh, they're going to blame black people. And if you don't have your contra and alignment while you out here trying to do everything else, I'm getting my hands and my skin all soft, but I'm also getting my knuckles together. I'm 52. I'm not 72. I'm still young enough to fight. And I got so many knives around here, you'll think I'm Jamaican. One thing about Haitian people, we believe in a machete. I got knives all in the church. You be looking for a gun, I done cut your goddamn arm off. You around here. Take this for what it's worth. I'm here sounding the alarm. You got to get in position. No, take that back. You don't have to get in position. I would urge you, sir and ma'am, to get into the best possible position you can before this stuff completely comes down the pipeline. Because it's coming. And your belief ain't going to be enough. God bless.